Hi, it's Nikki from the One Woman ASMR, wishing you a very happy Christmas and wanting simply to share some quiet time with you. And I thought it'd be nice to read you a Christmas story. From a Christmas gift book. It reads, Christmas, one of my favourite times of the year, with an air of anticipation that with each day that passes in December, the month gradually unfolds, reassuring me that soon it will be Christmas Day. A time that allows our imagination to explore and the wonder in our hearts and minds rejoice, embracing moments and celebrations shared with loved ones. It conjures up emotions from past and present, and like luxurious red ribbon, it neatly ties up the year and prepares us for the new year ahead. Let your imagination take you into a splendour of a winter wonderland of magic and endless possibilities. Fill your hearts with love and stay safe amongst the comfort of your dreams and wishes. For if you keep your dreams and wishes close, Christmas and all it has to offer will light you within and act as a beacon for those searching a glimmer of light. Merry Christmas to one and all. There's a couple of short stories in this Christmas book. There's one about a cat. Let's have a little bit of a nostalgic. Okay, make yourself comfortable. Grandmother's tables. A year had now passed since my grandmother had left us peacefully in her sleep. The fond memories that we shared were as much with me today as they ever were, especially around the time of Christmas, when the world seemed to take on an air of magic and nostalgia. As winter crept in and all it had to offer, the fresh crisp mornings with every blade of grass glistening with a touch of white ice-like jewels that had been left by the night, the cutting wind that swirled around the chimney pots, and if you listened carefully, played a tune that could be heard in the sitting room as we wrote our Christmas cards. The changeable weather from downpours of rain to the first signs of snow as it carefully lay a flake at a time to create the most beautiful backdrop to what was always a wonderful Christmas. Shop windows changed almost overnight from the simple to the extraordinary, delighting the eyes of each passer-by and filling the minds of children with ideas and a fantasia of dreams. Delicious aromas would wind their way down the high street from the family-owned bakers, and the air of anticipation and excitement would build as soon it would be Christmas Day. I lit a few candles and placed my cup of tea with a homemade mince pie and a cinnamon biscuit on the side onto my polished dining room table, but not before carefully placing down 2 Christmas coasters decorated with kittens playing with baubles to protect it. The dining room table had been left for me by my grandmother in my grandmother's will. It was an item that she had treasured, and as a family we had enjoyed many meals around it. For years she didn't take off the plastic that protected the chairs to keep it as new for as long as possible, and almost every day the table would be polished and loved. It was a dark night, and as I walked over to draw the curtains, not a single star could be seen in the sky. The clouds had gathered, and the wind chased a few leaves around the garden gate. There was a sense of coldness all around, and as I stood alone, a chill went right through me. I touched the radiator, but it was piping out glorious heat, so I placed a thick jumper around my shoulders and sat down at the table to write my Christmas cards and make a note of recipes that I should like to make over this seasonal time. As I made myself comfortable, I couldn't help but inhale the familiar aroma of a combination of the walnut wood and polish that had been lovingly circled in over the years. As I touched the wood, it brought back the most wonderful memories of love and laughter all around the table, with my grandmother's finest crockery taking centre stage, filled with glazed parsnips and carrots, piping hot Brussels sprouts, crispy and soft roast potatoes, and trimmings of pigs in blankets on a plate with her best teaspoons all lined up for the condiments. Crystal glasses adorned each place, along with gleaming cutlery and a cracker for each and every one, all carefully and lovingly prepared. As I closed my eyes and indulged in the wonderful memories, the heady smell of the walnut took me back to a place in my heart that I would always cherish. Grandmother's dressing table, pressed against the wall under her sweeping bay window, adorned with an array of essentials and nostalgia, antique crystal bottles and jars filled with her favourite perfume, and cotton wool balls, and an ornate tissue box. A single tissue that was carefully laid out to protect the glass top, and neatly in place a few makeup brushes, her small pale blue eyeshadow palette, the customary iconic lipstick that she had worn for years, and in pride of place a glamorous face powder in a round pink cardboard container, and settled on top a large fluffy powder puff. To the left, music and talk shows would gently play from the wireless, and whether it be summer or winter, the sun would cascade through her window onto her, like spotlights to a star on the stage. She was regal and had a wonderful imagination, and took great joy in admiring the view of her back garden and all it offered as the seasons unfolded. One Christmas time, as the snow fell softly and turned her green woodland back garden into a white Christmas, I sat perched on the side of her bed, on the satin bedsheet by her side, and watched in wonder as the snow settled through the icicles that had formed around the rooftop. You could smell the coldness from the comfort of her warm bedroom, and admired how the snow clung to the outline of each and every tree and her walled garden. Snow drifts formed in front of the door of the old air raid shelter, where logs had since been stacked, and stored in the distant top right corner of the garden there stood an ornate bird bath. Through warmer seasons we had watched families of birds come and go, but on this cold white Christmas morning stood a single red robin, its 3 toes stepping from side to side in the cushion of snow, singing out that it was Christmas Day. We watched as he flapped his wings and shook himself like he was shivering to remove a thin coat of snow that had settled like a mantle on his soft feathers, and wondered where he had come from and how far he had flown to be in my grandmother's back garden, and if he had a family safely warm in his nest somewhere. There was a stillness all around the garden, while neighbouring houses bustled with anticipation of what Christmas Day would bring, and the delight of Christmas morning, filled with laughter and shrills from children tearing open their presents that Father Christmas had brought them in the night, and the essence of turkeys roasting in the oven filled the air. Then came cautiously, a whisker at a time, a dear friend that my grandmother had spoken of so fondly before. She told me in a letter once that she had this friend that would visit her in her garden, a dear friend. She would never know if she would appear, but was always a welcome sight. From around the furthest tree came a red paw, tentatively one step at a time through the snow. With her head down, she smelt the snow in search of something just below, eager to plunge if she did. Inch by inch she made her way out from the back garden, her red coat glistening, her red and black ears alert, cautiously weary of her surroundings, leaving soft, small paw prints in her way. Snowflakes fell like crystals and lay softly on the tips of her bushy red and black tail, right down to the pure white tip. We stared at the majestic sight, this beautiful fox, my grandmother's dear friend in her white woodland garden. And, just for a moment, it was like she looked up at us with her golden eyes in recognition of my grandmother's delight to see her, and it would be nice to think to wish us a Merry Christmas. And as tentatively as she arrived, she left. Just moments shared, but what moments they were. I opened my eyes and I reached for my first Christmas card. Dear Gran, I know you are no longer with us, but I just wanted to tell you that you are in my thoughts and always in my heart. Thank you for all the memories and the joy that we shared, especially this time of the year. So I send all my love and wish you a Merry Christmas, and hope where you are you have a window to the world to enjoy the small things in life that are all around us that you showed me that make a lasting, large impression. With love always, Beatrix. As I took a moment to compose myself before carrying on with all my cards, I walked back over to the window and glanced out through the curtains. There, on this dark night, now appeared a single star looking over me. I smiled in recognition of how beautiful the star was, as it shone so bright, and I knew I was no longer alone. I hope you enjoyed that. I will be reading another one of these little stories from the book, so watch out for it in another little video around this time of the year. But let's finish with the last turn of the page. I should like to wish dear friends and my loving family a wonderful Christmas, and to thank you all that you have to show me and given me time, gifts and beautiful memories, and I look forward to creating and sharing many more with you. With one final wish to you, dear reader, I wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas. so much for joining me. Take good care. And I'll see you again very soon.